Why always follow the mainstream? How long will you drag the unsatisfactory job? So here we are sharing the success stories and taking you to the journey of Vegra Vata.
Hello, Namaste. My name is Akshat and I am from the very first batch of the Patkar BMS department, which passed out in 2003. It's my privilege to be able to do this video, and I really want to thank Sheetal and Patkar BMS department for giving me this opportunity. Patkar BMS days were one of the best days of my life. I'm not just saying for the sake of it, but I think it's not just because I made friends for life, but also I gathered experiences and built a lot of skills which stayed with me forever. And even in my low days, like today also, I end up seeking a lot of inspiration from what we did during Patkar BMS days, which included organizing that event called Fiesta. So I think for a lot of us, it stays as a big memory, an important memory. And it's really an honor to be able to come back and just do this video. So yeah, I mean, for all those who are listening to me and from Patkar BMS, I would say, and if you're still like in that college, I would say make the most of it. Post BMS, I ended up, working in corporate sector, thinking of starting up different businesses, but I could never take off on any of those fronts. In fact, I failed terribly at starting up. It never went beyond ideation stage. And I also worked in a call center. I thought I'll earn money out of there and then put it in a business, but it never worked. But meanwhile, I started realizing that, that I started learning what I don't want to do, because that was more important than knowing right from day one that, okay, I'm very clear with my path. So I think knowing what I don't want to do helped me to understand what I want to pursue. And what emerged for me over a period of time was working in the social sector. So a combination of my life experiences and experiences that I got during those days helped me come to a point where I realized I need to follow my calling, my heart, and which is to pursue my career in social sector. And I want to give it my all there and not do a part-time thing. So I think that was a big moment for me. In fact, at that point of time, Swades movie really inspired me, and it still stays with me. I watched it 17 times. So Shah Rukh Khan's character Mohan Bhargav really inspired me. And also, I think for me to realize my privilege of being a man and the kind of power it holds and the kind of privileges it gives me, realizing that helped me understand that, okay, I need to do something better for my society, for my community and my country. And that's how social sector came to me. In fact, when I did my MBA, that's when to me occurred that post my MBA I want to take up a job in a social organization. And after my MBA, in fact, I think I was the only one in my entire batch who came back without any job at hand, because I was very clear that I want to find a job in social sector organization. So having entered the social sector, I realized that my dream is to become a social entrepreneur, social worker, and that's how I started focusing on different issues, because where I was coming from was a lived experience and not a theoretical background or an academic background. I realized that gender is something that I really am passionate about, and it was a turning point of my life when I met Ayushi, who's my partner, and we both felt really for this cause, and we started focusing on it. Just to give you a context, India has about 113 million adolescent girls, and due to social cultural barriers, they are an invisible population, and it's really important to be able to build leadership, autonomy and voice of this entire population through initiatives, and that was a broader problem that we were trying to address, and that's how the Gender Lab, the organization that we run, came into being. At the Gender Lab, what we essentially do is empower adolescents and youth by engaging them in questioning existing gender narratives through critical thinking and by building meaningful community engagements. And we achieve this objective by running 3 programs, which is one is a fellowship for women in early 20s. We have a school program for adolescent girls, and we have also started engaging boys through another program. And we run these programs in about 200 plus schools across Mumbai, Delhi, and 45 villages of Haryana. We have worked with about 35,000 adolescents so far, and 29 fellows. These adolescents have gone out and engaged about more than 1.5 lakh citizens through different initiatives. So our idea is how do we, the approach that we use is a service learning approach where we combine classroom learning with community engagement, where students go and solve community problems. So for example, in our girls program, a group of girls take up a project, like a group of girls actually took up a problem of a public toilet in their area where they realized that it's not in a great condition. So they went to a local corporator, submitted a letter there, and this corporator had to get it fixed and renovated. And but through this entire process, what happens essentially is that girls becoming way more confident. They build a lot of interpersonal skills. They understand how to go about problem solving and take an idea from idea to action stage. So in this fashion, we have been able to work with thousands of girls and solve a lot of community problems and build these skills. And we also realize that we cannot complete this equation of gender equality without engaging boys, because there is this entire patriarchal system which gives a lot of privilege and benefits to boys, but at the same time also takes away a few things from them. So we realize that we need to have a conversation, create a safe space for boys to be themselves, ask questions, relevant questions that they can, and address gender-based violence. Because if boys themselves go out there in the communities, like a group of boys took up a project of sexual harassment in their area, and they went to a police station. They understood the laws behind how to deal with sexual harassment and created awareness around it. I think a group of boys took up a project around verbal abuse, like using a verbal, like an abusive language, and how it is and why it is important to be able to not use it. So they took that as a project and created awareness around it. I think what it does is it shifts boys from within, and that's what our objective is. They become more aware of their own actions, about their own and then the expectations of the society from them. I think that was very important for us to drive as a message, and that's how we have built the boys program. At the Gender Lab, I think the best part about working in this space, because it's a very challenging space. It has its own challenges that you have to face on everyday basis, because you at times while running an organization, at times funding is a problem, finding right people is a problem. People don't get the problem in itself, right? I mean, how does one communicate and share that gender inequality still exists and that we need to deal with it? It's a very important problem. It's a very invisible problem, right? I mean, how does one to be able to also build, behavioral change takes time and it's not easy. So I think through this I also realized that if I'm entering this sector space, I'm not here to become a very rich person, because it's not that I'm here to make money. I think it was important for us to realize as a philosophy that funding or money is needed, to be able to reach somewhere, but it is a means to an end, not an end in itself. The best part is that I get to work with a very dynamic and inspiring a team, in fact, which is a community, and this has really helped me grow as a person. And today, when we work as a team, it helps us to tackle any challenges that come in front of us. To me, what has been important is to be able to explore different forms of wealth, and I realize that my relationships of all kinds, my community of friends who share similar purpose and experiences and the skills that I have built are way more important than any singular form of wealth. And I think that's very dear to me. That's very important. If you want to pursue a career in social sector, or you want to become a social worker, an activist, I feel it requires a lot more patience. It takes a lot of time. It's like a marathon. It's not a sprint, and you will have to stay on this course for a longer period. Be very patient with yourself and really work on yourself, because I think social work is inner work. And you can't expect the world to change if you are not able to shift the lens within. So that's very important. And anyway, I mean, for a lot of us, it's not possible to always dedicate our lives to this sector. So you can also start small. You can be an informed voter, an informed citizen. You can start with volunteering few hours a week with any organization, or you can start your own organization and build that as well. I mean, it's been a year now since pandemic has happened, and a lot of us realized that how it led to a huge increase in unpaid care work. Especially, it increased the burden of unpaid care work, which is doing washing, cleaning, cooking, taking care of children or elderly at home. All of this, it increased that burden on women in our families, and we all wonder what is that we can do. And I always say that we can always start at our homes. So is it possible for men to step up and take up unpaid care work responsibilities at home? And I feel that's how the social sector starts from within and your own family first, and then it goes out. So social work need not be always starting an organization and building it from there. It can also be working for an organization. So yeah, I mean, all that I'm leaving you with is that we all need to start with ourselves, our communities, by questioning the cultures that we are building, because we need to really start small and question these cultures, because in these cultures is where a lot of issues exist. Like when I was in Patkar College, we were able to build a culture of learning, and that culture really led me to understand a lot of things about myself. So yeah, I hope all of you enjoy your time at Patkar College, all those who are listening, and all those who have passed out. Continue engaging and continue taking inspiration from your days at Patkar BMS. Thank you so much.